Hey everyone, welcome back to Cannes. I am here with Nick Lemaitre. Nick, thank you very much for joining.
Pleasure.
I mean, this is amazing. We got our feet in the sand here. I'm loving it right now. I
Could,
applaud you for this.
could not think about a better place actually in Cannes.
Uh,
The sea's just behind, see the mountains maybe at the back.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice to
Absolutely
be here.
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So, why don't you tell everybody watching just a little bit about yourself? Maybe a little personal.
Of
Won't get
course.
too personal. A little bit about the professional, and then we'll go
Sure,
from there.
sure.
Cool.
So my name is Nicolas Lemaitre. As you can probably hear from my accent, I'm French, so I'm local here.
Right.
And I'm the general manager of our home and personal care categories for Europe at Colgate-Palmolive. So I've been doing this I've been working for Colgate-Palmolive for many years now, about 16 years, across many different geographies, different functions. And before Colgate, I've been working at L'Oréal. So let's say my journey has started, as you could imagine, at business school, then a bit of L'Oréal in marketing, and then Colgate from France to Italy to our divisional team in European divisional team in Switzerland, UK, Germany, South Africa, and now again in Europe in Switzerland, leading our home and personal care business. So like many different geographies, many different functions,
Yep.
and still that passion for marketing,
Love it.
which is keeping me excited and energized every day.
Love it. I mean, I told you on the way here and when we were just chatting that I was really excited to talk to you because of all that geographical experience that you have. It's so cool. And I guess, starting, we'll get there in a moment, but just generally speaking, when you think about Insights and the role that Insights plays in such a global and huge organization and how you really use it to hone your strategic marketing decisions, tell me, I guess maybe just starting with some of the common threads, and then we'll get into some of the differences you've seen across all the different geographies.
So I believe all the companies out there, especially in consumer goods, want to be people centric, and I think it's the starting point for many of the things that we do. So the insight function is absolutely paramount to bring that people centricity infused in our business in every decision that we take. If you think about the starting point, is it starts with the people, it starts with the need states, and from there you start building the plan. And there's one of our ex VPs in marketing was always telling us, spend hours and hours, understanding the problem and not jumping into the solution, which is something that we do as human. I mean, like the human brain tends to be lazy, jump into solution. So
Sure.
we need to hold back from this, and the best way to do so is spending more time with people, understanding people, and that's how you can really crack what is the problem and finding the right solution. So I see it as absolutely essential in an organization like ours and in any FMCG and marketing organization.
Sure. So that's that common thread that just rolls across, it
Of
sounds
course,
like. Where
absolutely.
you start at the right place and then you take it from there. And that's been a topic of some of the conversations I've had here, one on one, but also just generally at Insights Lighthouse.
No, and if you think about it, a lot of the mistakes that are made are because of situations where you jump directly into solution, not spending enough time on understanding really the problem, understanding the people pain points, and I think that's a common mistake that marketers made or make in the early age of their career, trying to find quick solutions which eventually do not fully answer to a real, truly human pain point,
Mm,
and that's where you can deviate from like the right solution.
sure. And they don't stick. They
Absolutely.
don't stick. So then, in thinking about that common thread and then how things begin to differ globally, all this great experience that you have around the world, do you need to focus on maybe specific areas as you go from country to country, region to region, but yet those areas are where you find those nuances and those differences consistently? Like, what's the approach in order to pull it all together? Because you have to pull it back together, I'd assume, at the end in some way, shape, or form, too.
True. So and that's attention. How do you reconcile the local insight with global insights, and you can't have insights in every market where you interact. So how do you try to bundle some subgroups around the world? And I think there's a great piece of work that Kantar is doing around tribes, and that's the way to understand and to bundle some nations and countries together
Mm,
across different tribes around the world, so that you can build commonalities that brings people together in terms of values, what drives them, and eventually has an influence on how do you how does your brand talk and address to people depending on those different tribes. So I think it's an important piece of work because obviously you can't have insights on every single country around the world. So you need to find those commonalities and play with those commonalities to make sure that you you have locally relevant communication plans, marketing campaigns, but in the meantime at scale, and which is always a tension that you have to balance.
Sure. How important is it to get with the people? Like I think about, and I mean in the flesh, right? Like to be
Yep.
with the shoppers, to be with the consumers, because just being here, like you still get that sense. Like it's so important to be with
Yes.
the people in our community here, Insights Lighthouse, but also thinking about when you're going digital research in person, being with the people, like you have to mix it together. Obviously, you can't always be. But what's the importance for you of getting real close and being on the ground, if you will, with your shoppers, with your consumers?
No, and that comes back to my previous answer is the risk of missing out on that proximity with consumers may take you to the wrong solution. So that's
Mm.
why I think coming back to the consumer, and you can think of many different examples, but you know um, what I like to do if you're working on a concept and you try different iterations and it's not working. You've been testing it and with different quantitative solutions and it's not working. The first thing you need to do is go back to consumers.
Mhm.
You need to, because there's something you haven't cracked. If consumers do not react positively to like a concept or an idea, then it means that you're missing something.
Mm.
Maybe the problem that you identified is not the right one.
Mm.
You have not cracked that insight, and that's I've seen several times that coming back to the people and doing more empathy work can be the unlock that turn like so much small adjustments on a concept can make it or break it if
Yep.
they're rooted on the right pain points and insight.
Yep. Yep. That makes sense. Do you have a favorite time where you really unlocked an insight that was like an aha moment? It's like, this is what we need to develop against. This is where we should go with our marketing campaign. That really came from being in direct contact with your consumers.
So I think there's one campaign at Colgate that we're particularly proud of, and which carries the values and the purpose of the company is our Bright Smile, Bright Future campaign. And I'm not sure if you've seen it, and
I
it's
believe you posted about it, and I saw about it there.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
and having worked in Africa and going to many of those different locations where we visit school and we provide education and access to oral care to millions of children across Africa. The question was, how do we bring that effort that we're making with the communities to consumers, and how do we create awareness of that program so among our wider consumer groups around the continent and even beyond, and we've created that whole ecosystem where which involves obviously public health, the dentist, all the health authorities in the regions, together with school program ministries, and bundling it with an overall 360 campaign to bring really this to life. So obviously that's one of the things that we're the proudest, and I was the proudest when I was leading that region, because you really see the impact that you have on people, on the communities, and you're doing it for a better health in those regions which need it the most. So that's
Sure.
probably the most vibrant campaign which has translated into the success that you're familiar with.
That's great. That's great. I love to hear that. And I did see, I remember some great pictures that you had posted for that campaign. So that was excellent. I guess as we begin to close off and maybe just stepping away for a minute and thinking about where we are and the surroundings, like what are you looking forward to for the rest of your time here? Hitting the beach, maybe in a bathing suit for something different. I don't know.
I
What do you?
wish. I'm not sure about the time, unfortunately. We have a really busy agenda actually,
Sure.
and the thing is, there's so much to be inspired from here. So many, inspiring speakers, conferences. There's also like a lot of great works which is displayed in the Palais, where you can see a lot of all those award-winning campaigns, and trying to learn from them.
Yes.
What are the commonalities that you see there? What makes an award-winning, Cannes award-winning campaign, Cannes Lions
Yes.
winning campaign. So that's really what we're here for. Learn, be inspired, and come back home with all these ideas and develop the next future round of award-winning campaigns and come back next year
That's
and
it.
go get a lion.
And do it again.
Yeah.
All right. Well said. Well said. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the time. Thank you for joining us today.
Of course, it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.